the buzz around AI. So we're very much playing on the whole bee and beehive model here. Effectively, how we like you to visualize this going forward is this is your office environment. This is your all of your data. These are the agents running between each one of those processes. Now, what's important to understand is that we're not saying remove people from the environment and just get agents running over your data. For each one of these steps, you want humans in the loop. All right. So within this entire hive, you've got those bees running around and performing their very defined roles. And I think that's where the bee concept really comes in. The humans in the loop running with these agents that have very defined roles and making sure that they're all doing the right job at the right time. Bees are a really good example for AI, simply because hives they run at a very optimized level, but at the same time, bees also have very specialized roles within their hive. All right, so you got a nurse bee, you got a worker bee, you got a soldier bee. They all have very clear, defined roles of what they need to do. They have defined territories. They've got clear boundaries about making sure that their work is being done in the right way. They're not overlapping. They're not stepping on toes. They're not doing any of that. All right, and they also have very measurable outputs. So if you've got a nurse bee, the next generation needs to come through in the right way. That's a measurable output in terms of how that bee is really running. So making sure that when an AI implementation is being done in a business, we're checking for all of this as well. Is that agent that you are building, does it have a very specialized role? Do you have a defined territory where it needs to operate, or have you given it access and permissions to kind of run throughout the entire business because you're not too sure what the measurable output that you should be getting from it should be? When we talk about measurable outputs, this can be financial. Most of the time, it is going to be financial. We'll give you a bit of a breakdown of how you can metricize some of the benefits that you'll be getting from AI a little bit later. But effectively, you want to be able to try to understand: is it time that you're trying to save? Is it money that you're trying to save? Is it headache? One of the things that we always talk about is the 5-minute rule. And for any implementation that we're having a look at, the easiest way to really start is, what is your company doing? Or what are the staff members in your company doing that takes 5 minutes per day, but they're doing it 5 times a day or 20 times a week? What are those small little processes? Because that's an area where you can go and say, all right, we'll get a very specialized agent to go and do that role. They're going to have a very defined territory in terms of what they're allowed to access, who they're allowed to access it from, where they're allowed to read write. And then the measurable output would be, have we saved your staff that 25 minutes per day? Or have we saved them, cumulatively a couple of hours a week? That's a very measurable output. Those are the types of steps that need to go in place before doing this. Otherwise, it can become quite an expensive exercise. But the worst part of it is it can become a risky exercise if it's not managed the right way.